Thank you for listening to our presentation about hektor.one, our new platform for agricultural machinery quotations online. We've been talking to a number of manufacturers, farmers and dealers, and what we heard was that the large full-line manufacturers, American brands, they push the smaller brands out of their dealership structures. They are extending with new equipment lines all the time, so this is requiring smaller brands to find alternative modes of sale, and the online channels, they're providing the right means to do so. Also, we think that not all machines require as much consulting and service as we're being told, and we also see that farmers are of course very tech savvy, and they'd like to stay anonymous to a certain point until then they're certain that they want to buy a certain brand. And this is a good time for platforms like we try to build here. We also think that this could provide you with access to larger markets without the necessary dealership structure. And while a client is searching for a tractor or some other kind of implement, why don't we just recommend them other machineries right away that could be your brand? And all over together, we think that hektor.one has become a platform where it's not just about a single transaction, where it's going to be about selling additional services as well. Maybe where we can also then offer clients rental terms and services for extra conditions. Also, one good thing for manufacturers is that we see they want to sell standard machineries and they want to have the leads or the contracts in early. And this is what we can supply them with through hektor.one. Overall, we don't sell new machineries, we just want to generate the leads. And what we do is clients fill out a survey on our platform, and then we forward this data sheet to your dealer or to yourselves, to your sales reps, and then you go from there. It just continues in the offline channel as always. We just try to acquire new channels for you, new clients, and this is already happening for complex capital-intensive goods, such as for a dental service where dentists can acquire new lab equipment, or there's this page Käuferportal where you can get forklift quotations. So it's not far-fetched to say that we also want to take this to agricultural machineries. And another angle of attack we think is it's a waste of money to invest 15,000 euros in an A4 advertisement and you don't get any feedback about how it's going, how people acted towards it, and in which regions it has been particularly successful. Another thing is, as previously mentioned, we want to extend your brand's reach. If somebody goes on Google and is looking for agricultural machineries, we'll make sure that our content and our site is showing up on the top level of the ranking. And we'll do so by providing the right content for the search terms, by investing in the keywords that people are looking for. And once you then see our website, you go on there and you complete the surveys, and eventually you only do it for a tractor. But we would then make sure that we also highlight additional deals that we see fit, maybe because other people have bought it previously, or because we have special offers running right now. So our overall goal is not just to provide manufacturers with leads for a single piece of equipment, but to tap more into cross-selling, more additional services, and if somebody's not looking for new machinery but for a refurbished one, we could also sell them spare part packages right away. And one mode of sale for the future, we're sure about that, is short-term rentals. Maybe people rent that for a few months, and if they still like it, they will be credited against the rental fee for their purchase. And where we are right now is we have 9 premium brands from Germany already on board for this. We now start looking for equipment manufacturers in the neighboring countries west of Germany. And our general mode of sales is that we will look for provision, whereas still discussion, of course, but we want to postpone this discussion. We want to say that at least for 6 months, this is free of charge for user trial period. And if you then see a benefit of this platform, then you could discuss with us further if you want to continue the service. So there shouldn't be any strings attached, and it's a no-risk service, what we're offering here. How does it work in particular? We have this survey on the website where you can broadly answer some questions, which will help us to show you right matching offers. We see this as a process of brand discovery, where we don't want to go in-depth configuration. Nobody wants to do this at 9 p.m. in the evening, and therefore we want to keep the survey simplified. And once you have the questions answered, maybe there's around 10 of them to answer, we would ask manufacturers to provide you with a quote. Ideally, the quotes, they're already deposited in our servers, so we just forward them to the client right away in the same evening. Sometimes manufacturers, they would also choose to maybe take a day and then reply to the inquiry in depth, but we would not expose the client contact at this point. We would do it afterwards, once the client says, okay, I'm interested in this brand. So we would forward the lead to the client's manufacturer of choice once the client has confirmed so. And then we're at step 3, where the finalization of the configuration is happening with the manufacturer or the dealer as in usual ways. And then at this point we're already out. It's the continuous transaction as usual. What do we start with? We think that we should start with rather simple equipment, which is front ways or attachments to a tractor, but also we have already lined up numerous manufacturers for soil treatment, for spraying, and for greenland cultivation, as well as lorries. And once we see that customers already have the process of brand discovery happening online, they all go Googling, they all read reports, and then they print it out and go to the dealer and ask for the best price. Since this is already happening online, we want to just guide it, and that's where Hektor comes into place. And for the simplified equipment, there might not be any extra configuration necessary. For the more complex equipment, you still have that going on with the dealership afterwards. And this is where we just simply hand off the lead once the client says, okay, I'm curious about this brand. We start off with this questionnaire, but in a few months, once we see it's picking up, there's success involved, we want to extend it to have more thorough configuration, that we eventually can replace the local offline configuration altogether, that we have the complexity of the manufacturer's product line fully covered with our site. We want to start in Germany for now. This is the website. We'll have a phone number up here which people can call, because not everybody wants to complete the survey. We have customer support chat where people can get answers to their inquiries right away. And then the critical part is the questionnaires. We have them here, and they're easy to fill out. As mentioned before, it's just about 10 questions. So they're all in German, since we want to start in the German market for now. You answer questions like, what's the mode of extracting goods, how many axles do you want to have, what's the weight that you want to see, and the load volume, how many axes. Also maybe of relevance, what do you want to carry? Is there any other additional pieces of equipment that you want to have attached? Postal code, all very crucial to not just give the client access to 5 dealers' quotations, but for one brand there's only going to be 1 quotation. And then you only have to enter your email address, and that's where you end up on the end of the survey. And once you have that completed, you get an email with the quotes. Long term, we're going to have a website environment where you can then log in. You already see the quotes in the background and click on them. You would then have to decide if you want to reach out to the manufacturer, and at this point our service is completed.